So proceed further. Let's proceed further. So, in the previous section, we discussed about the enemy, the how the enemies were drawing nearer and nearer, and in this session, we are talking about actually more about this mother. Who is this mother? Because the title character. We need to know more about the title character, right? The mother of a traitor. So the mother is the most stressed character in this particular story, or we can say the protagonist. And she is very much confused, and she finds it really hard to choose either the son or the native city because both valued her the most, and she finds it difficult to weigh both of them because the love for both the son and the city is equally important and precious for her. And so she wandered thus by night through the streets, and many, failing to recognize her, drew back in fear, mistaking her a black figure for the incarnation of death that was so near to all of them. And when they did recognize her, they turned silently away from the mother of a traitor. So, so people initially they did not recognize. They just saw a dark figure moving at night fearlessly. But to those people who recognize her, they realize that this is the mother of a traitor. But one day, in a remote corner by the city wall, she saw another woman kneeling beside a corpse, so still that she seemed part of the earth. The woman was praying, her grief-stricken face upturned to the stars, and on the wall overhead the sentries spoke in low tones, their weapons grating against the stone. The traitor's mother asked, "Your husband?" "No." "Your brother?" "My son. My husband was killed 13 days ago. My son today." And rising from her knees, the mother of the slain man said humbly, "The Madonna sees all and knows all, and I am grateful to her." "For what?" asked the first, and the other replied, "Now that he has died honorably fighting for his country, I can say that I feared for him. He was light-hearted, too fond of revelry, and I fear that he might betray his city. And did the son of Mariana, the enemy of God and man, the leader of our foes, may he be so cursed, and the womb that bore him." So this woman, now this Mariana was walking through the city, and suddenly she came in contact with another woman who was crying actually. So there's a conversation between these two characters, especially the mother and another mother, or the mother of a traitor and the mother of a slain a man. So these two characters are actually conversing, and in this context, we can find that both the mothers have different perspectives because the mother of the slain man actually she was worried whether her son will be part of the enemy group one day, and he also tried to betray the city, so she had this fear. But now she feels like a proud man, though her husband was killed and the son killed today, but she is a proud mother because her son did not betray the city. Though he has to sacrifice his own life or pay the price by sacrificing his own life, but he did not betray the city. So that way, the mother of the slain man was really proud. But on the other hand, you can see the mother of the traitor. She is in. She is really shocked to see and hear all this because her son betrayed the city. But the woman, the mother of the slain man, did not realize that the mother who is standing, or the woman who is standing in front of her, is the mother of the traitor, or there is a mother of the traitor who killed her mother of slain man. Sorry, who killed the son of this particular mother. But in this context, we can understand as readers, we can understand that this particular mother slain man is completely unaware that she's talking to the mother of the traitor. So she said that she really want to curse that mother who actually gave birth to such a son. and it's because of the sun so many people are killed and the city got betrayed. So she is actually cursing all this, and she's even referring to that name because the name is Mariana's son, who become the traitor of this particular situation. So Mariana covered her face and went onwards. So she realized that the mother of the slain man did not understand that whom she is talking to. So Mariana actually covered her face and she just ran away. Next morning, she appeared before the city defenders and said, "My son has come to be your enemy." Either so next day, so this is the next day where she is in she stood in front of the city's defenders, like the patrol chief and many other soldiers. So she stood in front of them and in front of the authorities and says that my son has become to be your enemy. Either kill me or open the gates that I may go to him. So now she is in conversation. So you can find some dialogues in this book two pages because previously it was all about the narration, but now you can see the dialogues. And now the mother, especially the mother Mariana, where she revealed in front of others by saying that she is this mother of the son who is actually the enemy to the city, and she is now either you can kill me or you can allow me to go uh, to my son. So either of this you have to choose. So they replied, "You are a human being, and your country must be precious to you. So you are not like your son, because your son did the mistake and it's not yours. So you are just a human being. Your son is as much an enemy to you as to each one of us. I am his mother. I love him and feel that I am to blame for what he has become." So she's saying that I am his mother and I love my son so much. And you can blame me for whatever he did to you and to the city. Then they took counsel with one another and decided. So there was a small discussion, and after that they said, "It would not be honorable to kill you for the sins of your son. We know that you could not have let him to commit this terrible sin because we know that you are a good mother, you are a good human being. So you cannot even teach your son to do these kind of acts. But somehow he is now in a situation he himself placed himself in a situation where he turned out to be the enemy to the city members. But the city does not need you even as a hostage. But we don't need you here because you are saving or protecting yourself here. But you will not be able to save the whole city. So we don't need you here. You are free to go to your son. So we are ready to open the gates for you so that you can go to your son. We believe that uh, that is more terrible than death itself because we think that that is the most the greatest punishment which you will get from us, because it's better you leave the city and leave us alone and you can go to your son. Yes, she said, it is indeed more terrible. I know that it's very dangerous because here I am a hostage, but I know that it's very terrible there. And so they opened the gates and suffered her to leave the city, and watched long from the battlements as she departed from her native soil. So because her love for the soil is so much, because her grandfathers and of parents and everyone belonged to this city, but they have all contributed for the welfare of this city. But now her son is the enemy of this city and and the city defenders. So in that situation, it's good that she leave her city and move to the city where the son is belonging to right now. It's very terrible, and even she will be killed, she'll be attacked on the way, but she's ready to face all this. So she decided to move towards or move out of the city and face whatever troubles that comes on her way, because that's the only way to find a solution to this problem. She walked slowly, for her feet were reluctant to tear themselves away from the soil. This actually shows how attached she is towards the soil. And she bowed to the corpses of the city's defenders, kicking aside a broken weapon in disgust, for all weapons are abhorrent to mothers, save those that protect life. She walked as though she carried a precious phial of water beneath her cloak, and feared to spill a drop. And as her figure grew smaller and smaller to those who watched from the city wall, it seemed to them that with her went her dejection and hopelessness. Now it's all about she is leaving the city, and now let's see what will happen to her in this particular situation. So now she decided to leave her city, her native soil, and move towards the city where her son is now residing. They saw her pause half away and throw back the hood of her cloak, turn back and gaze long at the city. And over in the enemy's camp, they saw her alone in the field and figures dark as her own approached to her cautiously. They approached and inquired who she was and when she had come. "The leader is my son," she said, and not one of the soldiers doubted it. They fell in beside her, singing his praises, saying how clever and brave he was. So imagine a mother who entered into the enemy group, especially her son's city. So you need to understand that all the soldiers, especially the enemy soldiers, they all praised this mother for the kind of son she gave birth. But on her native soil, you can find that she was cursed and she was, uh, you know, she was feeling depressed when she was in her own native soil because it is all because of her son's greatness and ambitiousness that so many people have died. So here she was praised, welcomed, and she received all sorts of welcome from all the people. And now at last she stood before him, whom she had known 9 months before his death. Sorry, before his birth. Him whom she had never felt apart from her own heart. In silk and velvet he stood before her, his weapon studded with precious stones. All was as it should be, thus had she seen him so many times in her dreams, rich, famous, and admired. So for every mothers, they have very good dreams about their son or the daughters, right? Because they all want, it's about actually the love is. So here also you can find the mother is very much happy to see the son who she gave birth after 9 months of carrying him in her womb. So she was really happy and excited to see her son in the beginning, but of course she has some other purpose for behind all this. "Mother," he said, kissing her hands. So, though he is a cruel son, an ambitious son, a greedy son, but by seeing the mother, you also need to understand how a son reacted in return. Like he was also very happy to see the son. He never expected a mother to come near to him. "Thou hast come to me, thou art with me, and tomorrow I shall capture that accursed city. So now you are here. So it is because of you I was actually waiting for all this while. I didn't attack the city. But now tomorrow it's my turn that I'm going to, capture that cursed city." So he called the city as an accursed city. So he's saying that tomorrow I'm going to capture that city. So now you're here with me in my hands. So you're safe here and I'm going to burn the city tomorrow. So, intoxicated with his prowess, crazed with a thirst for more glory, answered her with arrogant heat of youth. "I was born into the world and for the world, and I mean to make the world quake with wonder of me. I have spared this city for the sake, and it has been like a thorn in my flesh and has retarded my swift raised fame. And but now, tomorrow, I shall smash that nest of obstinate fools, where every stone knows and remembers them as a child," she said. So he is now more proud actually because his mother is nearby and he's now feeling happy. But though that happiness is actually a sadness for a large number of people because tomorrow he is going to conquer the city. He's going to attack the city and to burn everything down because for him that matters the most because he thinks that that's the act of prowess. So this is what he was. But suddenly stones are dumb unless man makes them speak. Let the mountain speak of me, that is what I wish. And what of men, she asked. So son is so proud of his youth and he's saying that let others speak about me, how powerful I am. I am the most strongest and the most powerful man in this world. Let the world speak about me. But but the mother suddenly said, then what about the men? Ah, yes, I have not forgotten them. Mother, I need them too. For only in men's memory, a hero is immortal, right? So I need men because they will say more and more praises about me. It actually keeps me immortal. She said, a hero is he who creates life in defiance of death, who conquers death. No, he objected. The destroyer is as glorious as the builder of a city. See, we do not know who it was that built Rome, Aeneas or Romulus, yet we know well the name of Alaric and the other heroes who destroyed the city. So we don't remember who built the city, but we remember who destroyed the city. So it actually gives us the proof and the evidence that people remember bad things more than good things. People don't remember who built the city. That people they don't remember. They don't care actually. But people remember those people who destroyed. I want to be one like that so that tomorrow people will remember me as the destroyer. But that adds glory to my name. So this is what the son talked about. With outlived old names, the mother reminded him. Thus they conversed until the sun sank to rest. Less and less frequently did she interrupt his wild speech. Lower sank her proud head. A mother creates, she protects, and to speak to her of destruction means to speak against her. But he did not know this. He did not know that he was negating her reason for existence. So now there is one more page to go. So we are just mm, focusing the only the important incidents here. A mother is always opposed to death. The hand that brings death into the house of men is hateful and abhorrent to mothers. But the son did not perceive this, for he was blinded by the cold glitter of glory that deadens the heart. Nor did he know that a mother can be as clever and ruthless as she is fearless, when the life she creates and cherishes is in question. She sat with bowed head, and through the opening in the leader's richly appointed tent, she saw the city where first she had felt the sweet tremor of life. Within her and the anguished convulsions of the birth of his child, who now thirsted for destruction. The crimson rays of the sun dyed the walls and towers of the city blood red cast a baleful. I'm not going to read all the sections. Actually, talk something bad is going to happen, or something good is going to happen. So it is, and the story is actually leading us somewhere. She saw the dark houses where people feared to light candles so as not to attract the attention of the enemy. Saw the streets steamed, so she is going to do something now. But before that, she is actually confirming it. She is actually looking around the city, how people are living in fear, in constant fear and traumas. So she is seeing all this. Suddenly, what happened? The clouds descended from the black peaks into the valley and swooped down like winged steeds upon the doomed city. We may attack tonight. So suddenly the sun said, we are not going to wait for tomorrow. We'll attack the city today itself. So the mother is hearing all this. The night is dark enough. It is hard to kill when the sun shines in your eyes and the glitter of the weapons blinds you. So daytime we find it difficult to kill. But we find more comfort in darkness because usually bad, evil spirit likes darkness more than the daylight. Because here also it is saying that in daylight the light of the sun falls on the sword and it actually blinds both the enemies and the victim. So in that case, it's good to attack the city at night. The mother said to him, "Come, my son." So now the mother changed its mood. Now she was looking around. So suddenly she decided something, and suddenly she said, "Come, son, come here, come to me. Come, my son, lay thy head on my breast and rest." So she just, like a small baby, she just holds him in her hands. Remember how gay and kind you were as a child and how everyone loved you. So she's saying that you remember that when you were a child, I cared you so much and everyone loved you so much as a child. He obeyed her, laid his head in her lap, and closed his eyes, saying, "I love only glory, and I love you for having made me as I am." So he said that I love glory more than anything now. I don't remember my childhood. I don't remember what you're saying. What I remember now is just the glory that I'm going to hear from now and in the coming future. And I also love you, my mother, because whatever I am today, it's just because of you. So I love you, mother. And women, she asked, bending over him. There are many, one tires of them as of everything that is too sweet. And dost thou not desire children? She asked finally. Let's just move a little further and we can see what happened now. And he dozed there on his mother's breast like a child. Then covering him with her black cloak, you remember she was covered with a black cloak, right? She plunged a knife. So you remember in the previous session, it was mentioned that she was walking with something she carried in her cloak. So she plunged a knife into his heart, and with a shudder he died. For who knew better than she where her son's heart beat? And throwing his corpse at the feet of the astonished sentries, she said, addressing the city, "As a citizen, I have done for my country all I could. As a mother, I remain with my son. It is too late for me to bear another. My life is of no use to anyone, and the knife still warms with his blood, her blood." She plunged with a firm hand into her own breast, and again she struck true, and for an aching heart is not hard to find. So now she also died. So first he killed her son, and now she killed herself because he said that I love the glory and I also love my mother because whatever I am today is because of you. So she is also partially guilty and responsible for whatever he is today. So she killed him first and protect the city, and now she killed herself because for the as a sacrifice for the son, she killed Hazel. And this way the story ended here. So this is the story of a mother and son. It's a very heartfelt story, but at the same time, the story also makes you think. Also, it's also a story which, as I mentioned, it's a conflicting story which talks about how and what happened or what are the conflicts in this particular story because the mother is was initially in conflict with herself, but later she realized and recognized her self, and she decided to save the city and not the sun. So because both of them are equally wait for her. So she has to choose one, either the city or the sun. So she prefer the city more than the sun, but because that's not going to, um, you know, uh, create an imbalance with her love towards the sun. So she sacrificed or she balanced it by killing herself so that her love for her son is clearly visible, because with the same knife, with the same blood covered weapon, she killed herself. Uh, so she also died along with her son. At least after death, they become good mother and a good son. So it actually talks about the relationship and the bonding between a mother and son. Also a story of terror and trauma, and also shows how the conflict between the mother and son relationship is also shown very beautiful in this particular story. So we'll stop here, and we'll just go for the further sessions in the further classes.